Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is so exciting because I have the opportunity to try an indie eyeshadow brand that I have had my eye on for years at this point. As many of you know, I am on a no buy year, and that means I am not purchasing eyeshadow palettes, but I have a very lovely friend, my friend Steph from Steph the Franco. She has a YouTube channel and Instagram, TikTok, and I will have her links down below. You should go and check her out. She was decluttering some palettes and asked if I wanted to try her Muse palette from Cosmic Beauty, formerly Cosmic Brushes. Of course I said yes. I've had my eye on Cosmic Beauty's palettes forever, and this color story in particular is just everything. It's got greens, it's got yellows, it's got purples, it's got neutrals, it's got pinks, it's got warm tones and cool tones. I just love the color story of this, and I was so excited when Steph offered to send this one my way. So thank you so much, Steph, for decluttering this one to me. I am so excited to have it in my collection, and I absolutely loved the look that I created with this palette today. So if you would like to see my first impressions of the Cosmic Beauty Muse palette, as well as how I created the look that's on my eyes today, then just keep on watching. I am so excited to dip into this palette. There's a couple things I want to swatch, mainly the shimmers, to kind of figure out what look I want to go for. So I'm going to swatch this shade up here called Ambient, which looks like it could have a really cool duochrome, sort of like a plum to greenish blue shift. That's super pretty. Also, the shade down here called Antique. I feel like those might actually pair pretty well together because Antique also has a similar kind of bluey green shift, but it's just in a lighter purple base. That's the shade Antique. Kind of want to pair those two together and then maybe do a little bit of green with it. I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work as per usual, but we're going to find out together. So let me zoom you in and we will get started on the eye look. All right, so I'm going to start with the shade Water Lily, which is this kind of bright, vibrant, sort of like a matcha color green, and I'm going to put that through my crease. I primed my lids just with concealer today and set with a translucent loose powder. You all will have to let me know if you've tried Cosmic Beauty. I feel like they've been on my radar for the longest time, but I think they had like some stock issues early on because they were just getting started. This is a super pigmented shade, by the way. So I didn't ever end up buying one of the palettes, and then I think I came close to buying one like maybe one other time. It might have been like a pre-order. It was going to take forever to get to me, and I was just like, you know what? This might not be the time. And now I'm very glad that I waited because my amazing friend Steph sent me this palette at a time when I'm especially able to appreciate it during my no-buy year. Okay, I am loving how that is looking. It's just murky and swampy, super pigmented, very easy to blend as well. I'm now going to take the shade Willow, which is right next to the shade we just used. It's also sort of like a murky green. I'm just going to take it on the same brush and start to build up the outer corner. I love that you have options for brighter greens, warm tone greens like this that are more murky and brown, but you also have like some cooler tone greens, more like teal shades in this palette. So many fun looks I feel like I could get out of this one. And again, that is blending with, honestly, very little effort from me. Like the shades are just blending themselves practically. I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade Water Lily just to blend that into the crease. To deepen that up further and also bring in a little bit more of the purples that we're going to go in with on the lid, I'm going to mix a little bit of the shade Rosewood with the shade Fig to hopefully create kind of like a warm purple deepening shade. And I'm just going to start putting that right at the lash line and then blending toward the outer corner. Again, so pigmented. I barely needed any product on my brush. So I'm just going to go back in with my blending brush that we used with that deeper green shade called Willow and start blending that in. I love how murky and grungy this is getting. Those are some of my favorite looks to wear. And I feel like this palette lends itself super well to that kind of a vibe. Same on the other side. Okay, and then I kind of want to see how these shimmers perform without a glitter glue. First, they do have more of like a putty texture, so I'm thinking they will adhere to the eyes pretty well, but I'm going to go in with that shade Ambient on the outer half of my lid and then the shade Antique on the inner half of my lid. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the green shift. It almost has like that minty teal to it, so I think these would pair especially well with those kind of cooler blues in this palette as well. And I'm just going to take my finger and kind of mix the two together in the middle. That is stunning. I absolutely love the purple to green shift. That is so pretty. Same thing on the other eye, just taking Ambient on the outer half. And then Antique on the inner half. I did just get a tiny bit of fallout, but those shimmers are so buttery. They're just like, they're like creams almost. It's like even more kind of creamy than a ColourPop Super Shock. I'm just gonna take my blending brush in the shade Water Lily and just go around the edges because I feel like that got a little bit lost, so we're just going to bring that back. And that ties in with the green shimmer super nicely. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to take Water Lily and Willow again, and take Water Lily kind of along the majority of my lower lash line. And then I'll start to build up a little bit of depth with Willow. And then I'll just go in with our little rosewood and fig kind of deep purple combo a little bit just at the lash line on the outer corner. I'm just kind of connecting that up to the top a little bit. And then for the inner portion of my lower lash line, I want to take the shade Inspire, which is this bright green. It's kind of like a nice counterpart to this green matte down here. And I'm just going to put that on with my pinky right in the inner kind of third. Ooh, that is such a bright and pretty shade. I'm just keeping the lower lash line kind of green to tie in with the top. I think for inner corner, the main kind of inner corner shade is this shade Luster right here. So let's try that out. It looks like it has a purpley shift to it. Just put that right at the inner corner. Okay, it's more of like a purpley pink. I'm not sure how well you can see that shift, but it's sort of like a iridescent pinky purple. And that is the shadow complete. I do feel like there's a little bit of patchiness just right at this outer corner. I don't know. I can't tell if it's patchy or just a really grungy kind of murky eyeshadow shade that doesn't look 100% harmonious with my skin tone. Because in the mirror, it doesn't look patchy, but then when I look in the viewfinder, I feel like I see a patch there. But at any rate, it's kind of like a messy, grungy vibe anyway, so I feel like I'm not too worried about how that looks on the outer corner. But I do want a little bit of liner in the waterline, and I'm debating whether to do purple or green. So let me go pick out my liner, and then I will do mascara, and I'll come back and show you the finished look. I did end up putting some liner in my waterline. I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Joyride, because it's like a burgundy-ish purple, so I felt like it would pair well with the warmer tones and also just be kind of a cool contrast against the green on the bottom lash line. For mascara, I used the Huda Beauty One Coat Wow I'm still kind of testing this, so I don't have my firm thoughts about this mascara yet, but I feel like it was pretty good. I did have to build it quite a bit to get the amount of volume that I wanted for this look. Overall, I love the way that this look turned out. Something about this still feels very like effortless and wearable to me, even though it is greens and purples. I think because they are more earthy tones, it just feels a little bit more almost neutral as far as colorful eye looks go. The application overall was very easy. I loved applying the shimmers just with my fingers. The mattes blended very, very well, again with the exception of my one little dry patch in the corner. And the color story is inspiring. I feel so excited to come back to this palette and create more looks. Potentially I could do a 3 looks 1 palette if that's something that you all are interested in. I know this is sort of like an older palette now, but I have a feeling that a lot of you have this palette in your collections, or you might have similar shades across lots of different palettes. So if you'd like to see more looks with this palette, definitely let me know that in the comments down below. But I am thrilled to have this palette join my collection and to have the opportunity to try Cosmic Beauty, formerly Cosmic Brushes, as a brand that I've had my eye on pretty much since their very first release. So yeah, thank you again to Steph for being my makeup fairy godmother and allowing me to try this palette and this brand. If you all do have the Muse palette, I would love to know what your favorite shades are and any go-to looks that you have so that I can try them out for myself. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and seeing my first impressions of this palette and this brand and watching me create this look. Before you leave, please give the video a like if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already, because I would love to see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.